The one lesson is that I don't have to have it all figured out on my own.
Yes, definitely.
The It's a blessing and a curse.
Hmm.
Independence, knowing how to solve problems and navigate ambiguity on my own is fantastic because it means I'm self-sufficient and I can handle things and help others. But it's also a curse because I can also get lost in the weeds and get lost in the sauce and be like, okay, I can only figure this out on my own, and nobody else in the world can help me,
Yeah.
because if I can't do it on my own, then that means I'm inadequate, and me asking for help is a sign of weakness. No, that is the biggest lie in
Yeah.
in the world. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help means, okay, I've done all that I can within my limited capacity as a flawed human being to solve this problem, to do this thing and reach this accomplishment. But
Yeah.
asking for help means, all right, I'm actually ready for the next step or the next phase of this process. And I'm ready to learn more. I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to, just level up, versus thinking asking for help is me not being able to rise up to the challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That took me a very long time. I'm still struggling with it, to be honest.
Today, as of today, yes.
Right. So, but yeah, that is like I can resonate with that so much just because like, you know, to me, I feel like I always say like how they describe adulthood, I was bamboozled because they make it seem like once you become an adult, you just magically know how to be an adult. Like you just magically know what to do, how to solve problems, how to maneuver life. And
Pay
it's
taxes, like.
like, right, like you just know. So it's like after a certain point in your age, you're like, I'm still struggling. I don't know how to do this. I like, it's kind of like, am I a failure? Like imposter syndrome just like comes really quick because you're like, am I doing life right? Is this where, especially like when society tells you at 25, you need to have the family, you need to have the car, you need to have the nice house, you need to be in this tax bracket, you need to be doing all this stuff. And plus, now that we have social media, you need to have this amount of followers. You need to be, oh, as a woman, that you need to be thirst trapping and doing all this so you can get the likes and you need, so it's just like, that's not realistic. It's not realistic. But you think like, okay, I hit because I know when 24, I don't know about you, but when 24 hit, I was like, wait, did I just waste my adulthood? Like, what is going on? Like, I thought I was supposed to have everything figured out, and I don't. Like, I'm so lost. And I had to have that talk with my parents that no, it's okay and you can ask for help and it's okay to be 27 and still asking us for help, or or asking different adults like how do you maneuver life, what helped you, what lessons you learned, where I felt like I'm supposed to know what it's like, so since I need to figure it out on my own, like I should know all of this already. So yeah, I totally resonate with that.
Yeah. And in our in, at our young age,
Yeah.
we think that older adults, because they have certain things figured out now, we also assume that they had it figured out when they were our age.
Yeah.
And that is not always the case.
Yeah, because my excuse me, my parents were young when they had me. So by the time by the time I was like, their age, they had the jobs, they had a kid, my dad, he, was traveling and doing different things, and my mom was working and stuff like that. So I'm figuring like I should be where they are, if not more. Like, but it was a different time. A lot of things are different. That's what my dad had to explain to me. Like it was a different time when we were your age versus now, and also like my parents had to let me know, like we was figuring out ourselves. Like a lot of things that you're dealing with now, we had to do, we had the same exact thought. Plus we had a kid. At least you don't have a kid. At least you don't have that responsibility. You know what I mean? So you're right.
Mhm. And we think we know it all, but we don't. And then we get upset at ourselves when we realize we don't know it all. But then we also don't want to ask somebody else because we don't want to seem like we don't know it all. It's a cycle.
It is.
It is
And
a
it's
whole
like
cycle.
even if you meet people, because I have friends that are a lot older than me, and it's like we kind of go through similar things, and that kind of helped me because I'm like, well, you're way older than me, and we kind of have the same mindset, like So it's just, yeah, I totally agree with that. Just the cycle, and you have to learn to break that cycle.
And here's a key point. One way to break that cycle is to like completely reverse engineer my thought process. So here's one example. This thing that I did 2 days ago and decided to do a week ago. So considering professional development and considering career development,
Hmm.
I actually am signing up to get a one-on-one career coach.
Hmm.
And that's something that I would have never thought to do 3 years
Yeah.
ago, 2 years ago, a year ago. Like paying someone to actually coach me about career development.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, we have that for fitness. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get me a fitness coach. Or I'm gonna go to the gym and get me um, a fitness instructor for one-on-one. Or in school, we had, all right, I'm gonna get a math tutor and just, one-on-one. But this is the first time in my life I'm like, huh, let me do that same thing, but actually for career development. Because realistically, I don't know what I'm doing on my
Yeah.
own, or I can only do but so much on my own. And then there's also this piece of me like going from one industry to a completely different one. So going from academia into, like for example, the tech industry,
Hmm.
two different worlds.
Yeah.
So why would I rely on my year and a half of looking up stuff on YouTube versus getting a career coach who's been in the game for 25 plus years? The
Yeah.
math ain't mathing if I'm gonna rely on my year and a half of YouTube University. So, but yeah, doing the exact opposite of what I think I would feel the most comfortable doing.
Right.
That's not always an easy decision to make. And it also, it's like reverse engineering how I invest in myself and quite literally financially invest into myself. So
Yeah.
if I can pay for this meal at a restaurant, then I can also pay for a career coach.
Yeah.
If I can pay for a gym membership, then I can also pay for uh, someone to do my taxes or whatever. Like things where we're used to using money and spending our money on that. And it's like, wait, what if I actually spent money on this thing that I'm so used to doing for free, or I'm so used to figuring out on my own with without any financial investment in it. And
Hmm.
then that thing is also like me financially investing. and my own growth and development versus just, I guess, spending money on just material things that I'm used to already doing over the course of life.
Yeah. I think for our generation, we're learning to seek extra help and expertise like that and seeing how can it enhance our life and us individually. And I think that's like a good thing. So I had like a life slash business coach before, and like she has helped me so much with navigating life and how to prioritize and organize my life and different things like that. And I think it's very helpful and useful because, like you said, we think about having a fitness coach or getting a tutor and stuff, but sometimes we need it on life, like, and for people to say, yeah, that's good, but I want you to try it this way, or maybe you should work on that, or you're doing great at that, And so, yeah. How has Baltimore influenced you as an adult?
I've been learning about that influence for the past 4 to 5 years, really. I
Mhm.
actually know even longer than that. Ever since I got to, I went to University of Maryland for college, and I didn't realize just how famous Baltimore City is in the minds of different people within the U.S. Um, and then specifically, like just within Maryland, the perception of Baltimore is not the prettiest. It's not the cutest
Yeah.
perception, but because I was born and raised in it and I was steeped in it, and all the things that people characterize as bad is just what I characterize as normal, like through
Mhm.
childhood on up. It's
Yeah.
like, oh snap, I did live in that. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, where that was? Oh, that was illegal. That's crazy. Well, but it's funny moving out of state.
Mhm.
Some people I'm from, and they're like, "Oh wow, oh wait, have you seen The Wire?"
Yes, they love that so much.
Now, fun fact, I remember when I was younger and I was visiting my aunt. I was staying out over there, and it was one morning. I looked out the door and I
Mhm.
saw this camera crew, and like, it looked like somebody was doing something important.
Yeah.
And then my aunt was like, "Oh yeah, they out there shooting a TV show or something." And I was like, "Oh okay." Come to find out, they were shooting a wire out
Wow.
front of my aunt's house. I
Right.
was like, "What?" But coming from Baltimore City has shaped how I view the world, in that the things that people are typically scared of, or things that people are taught to fear,
Mm,
whether it's through TV or especially the news, like it's like, oh, that's home.
right.
And that actually shapes how I view the rest of society and the rest of the world. So like the lessons learned from living where I did, it's like I don't think about uh, the hoods in Chicago the same way that somebody else would. I
Right.
don't think about the hoods in Compton the same way somebody else would,
Yeah.
because like I come from one of those hoods where it's like people from Chicago be like, "Oh, you from Baltimore?" It's
Yeah.
like
They'd be so
anything.
surprised. I'm sorry to cut you off, but they'd be so
Yeah,
like because they have this image of how somebody from Baltimore was raised in Baltimore is supposed to look, talk, think, act, that they're like so surprised. And then they're so surprised that it's not just that one area that you see on the wire. Like it's so much more, it's so many different, things like